It's been around since 1929, Mark, the Monaco Grand Prix. Does it deserve a place on the calendar? Should it stay? Should things change?
Am I allowed to name drop at this point?
Yes, you're encouraged.
I can. Okay,
Expected
to. Okay. So on Thursday night, I had the pleasure of chatting to Prince Albert of Monaco, and it's his grandfather, Prince Louis II, who together with Anthony Noakes created the Monaco Grand Prix in 1929. And to talk to Prince Albert, you're very clear about the fact that the government of the Principality knows the importance of this race and wants to keep it. And at that same event was Greg Maffei, who is the head of Liberty Media, which owns Formula One. And he actually gave a speech at that event. It was a private event, but we'll just share it between the three of us and all the viewers, that Greg Maffei was incredibly positive about the Monaco Grand Prix and said it's a kind of jewel in the crown of the Formula One calendar. It's a race that everyone wants to come to. It's a race that drivers dream of winning. So the body language and the sentiments being explained by the head of, the Principality of Monaco and the head of Formula One were pretty clear. There are some deep-seated operational issues which need to be tidied up, and those include the fact that race direction of the Monaco Grand Prix is usually in the hands of the locals. They also sell their own circuit advertising, so Formula One have an issue with that as well. Formula One would prefer that the television direction was under their control. They would prefer that all of the circuit signage
not only Formula
was
One
under their control.
I'd vote for that straight away.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's actually other little niggling things, and maybe not so little, such as Formula One, and by Formula One, let's face it, we're talking about people like Ross Brawn, see that with a few changes, the track could potentially be brought into the 21st century in terms of creating an overtaking opportunity. Yeah. When again, it sounds like I had a terribly glamorous weekend, but I took a yacht into the harbour, and they have reclaimed a vast amount of land on the outside of the Fairmont Hotel, just down at Portier Corner. Vast amount of land. Someone told me they've expanded the land mass of Monte Carlo by 9% just by reclaiming some land to build more apartments and hotels. Well, if they can do that, then surely they can create an additional opportunity, be it at the swimming pool or swimming pool complex, somewhere around the harbour front, where there would you'd open up a corner and create an opportunity for some outbraking manoeuvres, some alternate racing lines to create an opportunity for overtaking. And again, the Automobile Club of Monaco are kind of resisting those kind of changes because, of course, it costs money. The final point, which everyone's bound to expect me to raise, is money, because Monaco does pay a lot less than many other countries to stage a Grand Prix. Formula One, I think, quite like a little bit more money out of them, and that's just a normal negotiation. But I think there's just a lot of factors have lined up. So I think there's a real, it's a crucial moment. My honest belief, there's no chance the Monaco Grand Prix will be cancelled off the schedule. It's just not going to happen. If it happens, I would be just completely shocked. I often compare it to Wimbledon tennis. If someone invented a grass court tennis tournament in the suburbs of London today, it would never be allowed to join the tennis tour. Monaco's the same. It's an event that if it was brand new, it would never be allowed to take place. But it's part of the heritage and history of the sport, and I do think that Prince Albert and the government of the Principality, the Automobile Club of Monaco, Formula One, all of the vested interests, half the driver community lives there. I mean, I think there'll just be all kinds of people pushing to make sure that this Grand Prix is protected, but it'll be protected and there will be some changes. And that's probably long overdue.
Well, you touched on the circuit, and we saw there a tweet from, I think it's Nightvan24. We've encouraged our viewers to give us their opinions, and he was suggesting that the track does need a modification, as you say. And there was another one which I thought was amusing from Brad O'Neans at the Rioters.
Oh, yeah, Brad, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whose suggestion is that the track should be wet for all future races. What do you think about that, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add to it. I mean, Mark, I think he covered pretty much everything. But yeah, I mean, you can't make it wet on demand. You know, that raises all sorts of issues, because then we can start doing it at other tracks. I'm not saying never, but if it starts happening in Monaco, you'll see it. Why don't we do it at all racetracks? Because a bit of wet always makes it exciting. But it's also interesting, you know, because the Monaco Grand Prix is the jewel in the crown. But I was thinking about it just today, in fact, when we were watching the Grand Prix. You know, it is a fantastic race. But for someone like myself who is not from Europe, and I do understand the history of the sport very well, but if I had a choice of which Grand Prix to go to, Monaco would not be my top Grand Prix to go to anymore. You know, I'd want to go to Singapore. Yeah. I'd want to go to Miami. You know, and it has to be careful about that, because we always make an exception. We know it's going to be a boring race if it's dry, and we go, okay, that's only one race of the year. We can kind of stand it, you know, because it's the Monaco Grand Prix. But you have to be careful. I don't think it is completely untouchable.
No, 100%.
Can I just jump in and I just jump in and quickly say, of course, one major improvement in Monaco over Miami is at least the marina in Monaco has got real water in it. So that was that was picked up by quite a few people.
And I suspect the Paddock Club had sufficient cutlery and glasses and actually water.
The Paddock Club
didn't have drinking water on the first day, which seems anyway.